Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at recreating a grayscale gorilla tutorial that was originally in Cinema 4D in Blender using modifiers to make this stitched or knitted object. So let's get into it. First we'll delete the default cube with X and Shift A to add a plane. Tab into edit mode. We'll right click to subdivide the plane. And then we'll go over into modifiers. First we'll add a wireframe modifier. And then a bevel modifier. The ordering of these modifiers is important, so you need to put the bevel on top of the wireframe, and there you can see it's working. We'll give the offset a value of 0.28 and the segments a value of 1. And we'll check only vertices for this first bevel modifier. Then we will add a second bevel modifier. We'll move it up above the wireframe, give it an offset of 0.15 and segments of 3. Collapse that one. Add a third bevel modifier, and you can add as many of these as you like, but we'll move it up again above the wireframe. Add an offset of 0.05. Segments of 5. Alright, there we go. We have the basic shape, but you can see that there's some artifacts coming off of the center, and if that happens, what you need to do is just go in and start tweaking the values of your modifiers until you're happy with the result. Bring that down a little bit. All those artifacts disappear. With the offset. And there we go. That's the shape I want right there. There's our basic object. And now we're going to Shift A and add a UV sphere. We'll go to Object, Shade Smooth, and we'll scale it way down into the center here. It's important to keep it at the center. Just leave it there. And we'll select our plane, go into its object properties, and go into instancing, and select verts or vertices. Then you need to select your sphere, then shift select your plane. Control P and parent it, the object. And there we go. We're displaying these spheres on our plane. We'll scale that down to get more detail on the spheres so they're not too large. So we're starting to get this nice knitted effect now on our plane. Next we'll switch into rendered mode and add some materials. Drag our window up here and go into our shader editor, new, and there's our basic node setup with a principled BSDF and our output. Do Shift A, search for a color ramp, and plug that into our base color. Shift A and search again for a moose graph texture. We'll put that into the color ramp, and as you can see that's pretty large, so we're going to scale it way up to get some finer detail on our mesh. Just give it a little bit of variance. And we can go into our color ramp and just want to have this kind of ultimately a lightish yellow color, but we'll give the moose graph texture some dark values and light values, and add subsurf to give it a little bit of transparency and softness. I'm also going to switch over to cycles so we'll be able to see it better and get the final result that I'm looking for, and switch over to my GPU so it's faster. You can already see some of that soft coloring coming into the mesh, but we will tweak the subsurf color so that there's some warmth underneath. We'll scale this up more so it's not as noticeable. We'll bring this value up slightly so the contrast isn't quite as harsh. And there we go, I really like that. The next thing we'll do is select that object that we duplicated across the mesh earlier. We'll apply our initial material. There we go, I think we have a pretty good material on our mesh now. Last thing we'll do in recreating the Grayscale Gorilla tutorial is going back into our modifiers on our plane and adding a displace modifier onto the top. And whoa, that looks kind of crazy, but like I said, the order matters here, so we'll move that displacement all the way up to the top of our stack. And now we can go into texture, add a new texture, and then under type, we'll select blend, and we'll change that to spherical. And again, that makes the mesh go crazy, but if we go back in, we can adjust the mid-level and the strength of our displacement modifier. We'll turn the mid-level down, and we'll adjust the strength. There we go. Just give it a little bit of height here. Gives the mesh a little bit of depth. And there's our recreated stitching tutorial from Grayscale Gorilla, from Cinema 4D to Blender. Here's my final result with my cameras, a plane with a wood texture, and a soft light in the background. Also, because this is using the modifiers, you can adjust those values in the modifier stack, and you could animate this if you keyframe the values. Thanks so much for watching. If there is something else you'd like to see me recreate from Cinema 4D to Blender, either a motion graphics project or a particular tutorial, please let me know, and please subscribe to my channel and get notifications as well. See you next time. Thanks.